So we may finally have casting news surrounding the roles of Feyd-Rautha and Princess Irulan in Dune Part Two. And we also have some new info about Denis Villeneuve's plans for a trilogy with Dune Messiah, thanks to a recent interview with the filmmaker. In this video, I'm going to be discussing the potential new castings alongside what Denis Villeneuve has said surrounding the trilogy he plans to make over the next few years. Before I get into it though, if you want to keep up to date on any of my content surrounding Dune Part 1, Part 2 and beyond, then don't forget to support this video by giving it a like rating, subscribing to the channel and turning on your notifications. Also, feel free to check me out on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit and Instagram at Cortex Videos, which is all linked in the description below. But without further ado, let's dive into the new details and reveals for Dune Part 2 and Messiah. So yesterday, following news of a potential casting for Princess Irulan, Deadline reported that Denis Villeneuve may also be close to signing on an actor for the role of Feyd-Rautha. Dune Part 2 is scheduled to start filming this summer in international locations, and with pre-production well underway, the project is in the midst of casting 3 of the most significant roles. For the role of Feyd-Rautha, they are apparently really close to signing the actor Austin Butler, due for a big role in the Elvis biopic by Warner Brothers coming later this year, and now he may be taking a trip to Arrakis for Dune Part 2. According to Deadline, the actor is in final negotiations to star in the second film, and if this goes through, he will play Feyd-Rautha, the cunning nephew of Baron Vladimir Harkonnen. The actor's previous roles include Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where he played a member of the Manson family, and he also starred in the MTV fantasy series The Shannara Chronicles. So if he lands this role as Feyd, and it's key to note that out of the 2 potential castings, this one is the closest to being done, it will be a breakout chance for the star, alongside his role in Elvis this summer. Obviously, Denis and his casting team have seen something in this actor, whether it be in auditions or through other roles, and I must say he really does look the part. After all, Feyd is supposed to be the dark mirror to Paul Atreides, and I definitely get that vibe from a visual perspective. It's of course down to acting, but everything I've seen of him in this new Elvis film looks like it could even be Oscar-worthy. And I know there were fan castings flooding the internet for months, like with Barry Keoghan, but this is really the first concrete news of someone coming close to landing the part. And based on what Deadline says, it seems like this role is almost a done deal. So we'll have to see, but I'll keep you updated on my community page if anything changes in the near future. Of course, the other 2 parts that are going to be big ones come Dune Part 2 are that of Emperor Shaddam IV, the ruler who sent the Atreides family to Arrakis, and Princess Irulan, the Emperor's daughter. Well, a couple of days ago, it was reported that an actress is in negotiations to play Irulan, and while this one seems more on the table to change, it still seems likely that she'll be the main candidate right up until the official casting. The actress I'm talking about is Florence Pugh, who of course recently has been in massive franchise filmmaking with that of Black Widow, indie films such as Midsommar and Little Woman, and she's currently busy working on Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. Well, Florence Pugh is now in talks for another huge role, and if a deal works out, she'll be playing Princess Irulan, the daughter of the Emperor. But before we jump to conclusions that she has signed, the Hollywood Reporter made it clear that the actress is waiting to see the script before a final decision is made. However, with Denis Villeneuve and co-writer Jon Spaihts returning from their box office triumph and Oscar-nominated writing on the first film, I doubt Pugh would pass on the opportunity to play such a big role in Dune Part 2. But as The Hollywood Reporter outlines, the only thing that would potentially be an issue is scheduling. While Pugh is currently filming Oppenheimer, there's also the option down the line of her agreeing to play Madonna in the musician's new biopic. So really, I think this one is down to what script she feels like she wants to take, but hopefully she can do both if they are scheduled apart. I think that if Florence Pugh does get this role, then this is another great addition to an already huge list of names, and the thing is, while I'm not the biggest fan of the films she's been in recently, like Black Widow or even Midsommar, I do think that with every role I've seen her in, that she delivers a strong performance. So under the direction of a Denis Villeneuve, possibly one of the best directors working today, I think the result could be great. Dune Part 2 will of course be a continuation of the story, an adaptation of the second half of Frank Herbert's book, and it will pick up after Paul Atreides and his mother, Lady Jessica, escape into the Arrakis desert with the native Fremen. They'll soon start to lead the fight back against the evil Harkonnen forces, the scheming Emperor, and down the line we will potentially see the complicated connections between Princess Irulan and Paul. She has a big role going forward, and there are still other roles that are yet to be cast, such as the Emperor. Based on the timings of these castings though, I wouldn't be surprised if we get an actor for the Emperor come next week, but we can only wait and see. Still, let me know who you would like to see cast as the Emperor, alongside your thoughts on the casting of Feyd-Rautha and Princess Irulan. But alongside the casting news for Dune Part 2, we also got a tease of the future from director Denis Villeneuve, who in a recent interview outlines the template for his trilogy and when we might see a third film in Dune Messiah. In an interview with Vanity Fair on Dune Part 2, Denis said, "I'm finishing the screenplay now and we expect to be shooting by summer, which is practically tomorrow morning." With the first half of Dune, the toughest part was introducing the world and laying down the rules. Now just the fun of the story is left. I'm always very cautious discussing movies that are in the making, they're full of fragile ideas, but the second one will definitely be more visual and less dialogue driven, and hopefully there will be another film after that. Dune Messiah, Herbert's second novel in this universe, would make total sense as a third movie because it completes Paul Atreides' arc. I want to make Part 2 as fast as possible, then I will wait a few years until Timothée Chalamet gets a bit older to do the final installment. I've lived with Dune for most of my life, being patient is part of the journey. So Denis clearly would have to wait a few years based on the aging of Timothée, and it makes sense considering there was recent news that the filmmaker is planning on doing another film other than Dune. On his schedule right now, there's the plan to adapt Rendezvous with Rama, and if there was a few years between Dune Part 2 and Dune Messiah, then what he might be considering is doing his Rama film in between Dune Part 2 and Messiah. So what we could be looking at is Dune Messiah coming out around 4 years later in the 2027 to 2030 period to allow that time for aging. It would also give him a few years to really think about how he would adapt Messiah, as there's a lot of things in there that will be difficult to bring to the big screen. But at least we get the conclusion of the first book in 2023, and if the film is really good, then it will only keep us excited for whenever he does adapt Dune Messiah. We'll have to see, but his current plans for a trilogy gets me personally really excited, and I just can't wait to see what he does with it. But that was my video discussing the potential castings of Dune Part 2 and the early plans that Denis Villeneuve has for Dune Messiah. I'm sure we'll be getting more casting news soon as we build up to filming this summer, and it will be really interesting to see who lands the role of the Emperor and if the candidates for Feyd and Princess Irulan do in fact go through. As I said, based on the article, Austin Butler seems to be almost there. It's really just the casting of Pugh as Irulan that isn't far over the line yet. But it would seem silly if Pugh passed on the role, given all the people involved and it being a sequel to Dune. The only way that would happen is if the script is really bad. But honestly, I trust Denis Villeneuve after all of the stunning work he's put to screen over the last decade. And I'm hopeful that will continue as the years pass, especially if we get a trilogy with Dune Messiah. But let me know down below in the comment section what your thoughts are towards the potential castings of Dune Part 2, alongside what Denis Villeneuve has said about there being a bit of a longer wait for Dune Messiah. For much more videos and news on Denis Villeneuve's Dune universe, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating and follow me on social media via the links in the description. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.